Jay Feldman. And Jay Feldman, executive coach. Oh, you're a coach too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is interesting. Jay, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do and how you do it? And then, unless you want to take over. Oh, you can take over.
I'll take over.
I'll listen.
That's good. I like it. Since it's a woman's world, as Freddie J says, I'll take over.
You just destroyed
Look at that. That's it. He destroyed it.
And
he set
everything that we thought about.
So this is Jay Feldman. Welcome to the Freddy Fixit Show. We're really happy to have you here. And again, I do know you personally and professionally. And I want to give you the opportunity to tell people, because I know that you're a fabulous coach, and I'd like you to share your story. So tell us what you do.
Well, I've been working for well over 35 years in the financial service industry as a branch manager, as a financial advisor, head of business development, a little bit of everything you could possibly do from the ground up. And about 4 years ago, I went out on my own, and instead of being in the corporate world, it was my own corporate world, so I created my own company. I work with coaching companies around the country, and I also am my own independent coach. And I've enjoyed that. I work with financial advisors and other entrepreneurs. And then most recently, I think the third piece that I always wanted to dabble in was being able to be a consultant for certain projects in the financial arena. So it's kind of like a three-legged stool, if you will. Entrepreneurs, financial advisors, and consulting.
Excellent. Excellent. I always find it really fascinating when people are working in the corporate world for many, many years. They gain incredible experience. They usually are so talented that they're, the benefit lies for the corporation rather for the individual. What was it that made you switch over and make you make that move? That's obviously a big risk in many cases.
Well, I think you're right. First of all, the biggest risk was doing it in 2008, 2009, and that debacle when it was probably difficult to reinvent anything. But to reinvent oneself during that period definitely has had its challenges. Difficult in the beginning, but the last couple of years, well worth the effort, and the reward ratio has been just tremendous.
Excellent. Excellent. So you definitely recommend taking risks, and if you are working in a company and you have the desire, is there any reason that you move towards coaching or on your own that was more in reference to how you would help different kinds of people?
Well, I think with the last couple of years I worked in the corporate environment, I was just coincidentally trained as a coach besides being a branch manager. So if, like many people do or don't understand, in the financial service world, being a branch manager is kind of akin to being the director of marketing for an area. So I built an office from scratch. That was pretty entrepreneurial, working with individuals, some of who are the top 1% and 5% in the industry, gave me the self-assurance that I could go out on my own and give something back to individual entrepreneurs.
Excellent. And in your industry, in this financial industry, what challenges did you find that you had being a coach, doing this on your own?
I think people, especially since I've been down here since 1982, you have a certain brand, and then when you kind of are upsetting the apple cart to be a new brand, I think it's a small enough world down here that can be a challenge to project something new. The leadership's there, but you've got to be able to project something very, very different. And when it's your own firm, it's completely different. So.
Sure. And how about dealing directly with the clients in this type of industry? Because I'm sure there has to be a lot of trust involved when you're dealing with money. People are coming to you to help them with their businesses to be able to make more money, or their direct clients. What do you find anything specific in communicating with your clients, or did you?
I think the value add to prove oneself is the most important, because when you work for a financial advisor firm, and you're working with individual financial advisors, the firm is paying essentially for your service. To go out on your own and to be able to charge an individual practitioner or team for them to pay you directly, although I get paid from companies and consulting projects too, but getting the individual to pay you individually puts a premium on being able to deliver the value-add service.
Excellent, excellent. And I have to say that I'm really proud of you personally, having had you as a student for our NLP practitioner course, which is the 8-day course. So now you are, in addition to all of your other accreditations, you're a certified NLP practitioner. And I'd love to find out, because it's the best feedback for me, what was the experience of taking the course for you?
Well, I think To say it's been anything but a game changer or a transformational change wouldn't be telling the whole story. I think as an executive coach working with some of the top people in the industry and even outside of financial services, people are looking to extend their differentiation, to extend their brand. In the era that we've moved through in 2009 forward, the corporation is not the centerpiece as much as the individual is now. So working with individuals to take their practices and their life to another level is very rewarding. And the NLP tool has probably enabled me to have even deeper conversations, which is really what coaching is all about. It's getting enhanced outcomes from the current status or the status quo and going beyond and getting people's potential to be reached even though they're very successful already.
Wow, that's great. And the actual course itself, I know, can be quite heavy as far as materials. There's a lot of information in a short period of time. How did you feel about that? How did the days go by for you? You know, how was that?
Well, I think it's a credit to both you and Jason in that at first, when I first thought I was going to put myself through 8 straight days of almost 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., I have to admit I was a little nervous about how that time would move, but it went very, very fast. I found myself, you know, really appreciating the materials, the study, appreciated the breaks obviously too, but it was a great way of thinking about the conversations about the conversations, or the meta conversations as we learned about in NLP.
Awesome, awesome. My favorite question is this, because this is where what I love hearing after a student goes out back into their job, into their world, into their business. What have you noticed any difference in how you're dealing with your clients, or have you used any specific skills that you've learned in that aspect to see more benefit in your communication with your clients?
I think I've had both transformation at the client levels, and at the same token I think folks have appreciated, the clients have appreciated, that it's a deepening conversation that is happening more naturally. I always felt I was pretty good conversationalist from a flow perspective, but I think being able to observe your clients and your future clients and what they're going through and what that conversation is leading to, for example, creating a timeline on their goal setting, which is now a lot more vivid using the tools that I learned in NLP. So it's always about goal setting, but being able to set goals almost in a dimensional level, or have somebody step into a circle of excellence, establishes your credibility both as a coach and as somebody who really has can make a difference in their lives.
Jay, I got a question. You learned a tool that's obviously very valuable to you, and the game in coaching as well as business changes every day. You know, financial markets change, everything changes. This tool that you've learned from NLP, is it interchangeable? Can you go with the flow, change it to develop it, find the angles and make it better to serve your clients?
I think you can, because I think the program, especially as we got into maybe the second half, the second 5-day component of the first 8 days, I think we got into deeper levels. There's no one tool, but it's being able to discern the difference between types of communication, and it's the interpretation. It would be analogous to like a doctor being sent away to learn robotic surgery. Before that he knew surgery, but when he came back there was a depth, there was a non-invasiveness that became invasive, and so the coaching practice has become invasive in a non-invasive way, which is great.
Right, right. I think it's sort of the flexibility that you learn. That's the whole purpose of NLP, is to be flexible, to have these skills that you can, you know, when situations change in your industry, you know how to change your thought process to be flexible and be able to flow with the moment, right?
Yes.
So that's awesome. Well, I have to say that you were an amazing student, Jay. That's for sure. And it's always a pleasure.
Was she a tough teacher?
She's very tough.
Yeah. Well, anybody keeps me in school from 8 to 7, I'm going to tell you something.
Honey, I'm fun too. I get the class dancing. What are you talking about? I got Jay dancing. Are you kidding me? We were doing like the Harlem Shuffle. No, what's it called? The Harlem Shake.
The Shake?
Shake.
You did the Harlem Shake? That's what you're teaching?
Yeah, we did Harlem Shake.
You get a Wall Street guy to do that. It's
the
like
Cupid
pretty good.
Shuffle.
You had him do that? And you didn't put that on film?
Everybody to do it, honey. Everybody.
Wow, that is unbelievable. Well,
yeah.
there you have it. Okay. Good stuff. We got a minute left. Want to thank Jay Feldman, for coming down and sharing a little insight into NLP training. This the Canadian is here. Freddy J, executive producer Linda Harmon, for verifying that Canadians eat more donuts than everybody else.
The Canadian learned something new
today. Thank the interns that came up short today because we got a little late and we got onto a rock and roll, but we'll see them on Wednesday. Want to invite you guys to come see us on am2.tv. The show will be there, and we will catch you next week.
See ya.
Have a good day.